Welcome to the section where we're going to learn about CSS. So you may be asking, what the heck is CSS? So I just Googled CSS over here. I'm zoomed in and I scroll down, and on the right hand side, there's a short description from Wikipedia. So let's take a look. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and it is a style sheet language used for describing the presentation of a document written in a markup language like HTML. So let's digest this particular part for a minute. Now you notice that it says that CSS is a style sheet language. It is not a programming language. It's not a markup language. It's not a markup language like HTML. It's not a programming language like JavaScript or Java or PHP or Ruby or Python. It's actually a style sheet language. What that means is that you write simple instructions, simple styles in CSS that you want to apply on top of an HTML element. That's why it says that CSS enhances the presentation of a document which is written in a markup language like HTML. So basically, you write your simple little websites like we did in our homework, and then you apply CSS on top of it so it looks more beautiful. Maybe more beautiful like this, maybe more beautiful like this, maybe more beautiful like this, or anything that you can imagine. All right. So with that said, let's get started with CSS and learn its simple syntax. Now, from the start, I want to tell you that CSS is a very simple language, similar to how HTML is. HTML is very simple. It has elements, and elements have attributes and children, right? Simple as that. And you make different elements to produce your page. That's all it does, right? Similarly, CSS is very simple as well. And actually, its syntax is even more simpler. So here, let's take a look. Now, the first thing that you want to learn is this number one section. So ignore number three, number two, number four. Just look at this particular section. And in fact, I'm going to just zoom it in so your focus is only on this particular first section. Now, this is what a CSS style looks like. You first write a selector. And what is a selector? Selector basically says these are the elements on which the style should be applied. So now I already told you that CSS applies styles or colors and different spacing and all these styling properties to an element. So the selector says, okay, this is the particular element, or these are the particular elements that I want to apply these styles on. So that's the selector, which element to apply it on. Okay, selector is which element to apply it on. Now the second thing, once you say, okay, these are the elements I want to apply it on, the next thing that you say is what style to apply, and that is the property. So property and its value is basically, do you want to change, so this is a list of properties over here. So do you want to change the color? Do you want to change the font? Do you want to change the size? Do you want to change the background color? Do you want to change the different display modes that it has? Do you want to change the style of the list? So we're going to go over all of these detail, but that doesn't matter. Right now, we're just focused on the syntax. So the syntax says, which are the elements that you want to apply it on, and what is the style that you want to change. All right, so that's the property that you say, and what is the value. So let's say you say color, and the color should be red. So that's pretty much it. So that's what the syntax is. That's all you need to know. That's it. Now the second thing, you might be asking, okay, I understand the syntax, but where do I write it? How do I write it? Perfect, right? So there are three places to write this particular CSS. The most simplest one is you actually write it as an attribute of the element. So you see this is the element tag, the opening tag. You write the style attribute and you provide the property and the value. That's it. You don't need the selector because you're already inside that particular selector.